Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Collins. I am a holistic wellness practitioner. I also am an infinite possibilities trainer, hypnotherapist, Reiki master. I kind of do a little bit of everything. I'm an intuitive angelic card reader. I read, excuse me, angel cards and oracle cards. And so for this video, I really wanted to do a class on, I've done them before, but I wanted to do something different. And I'm kind of old school. I like to do everything in person, but for this, I'd like to do it using some social media, using some audio and video tools that I'm not normally using. So I'm trying to be more expansive and more creative in my endeavors. And as a Gemini, I should be more creative anyway. But if you notice, I may sound a little sick, so I may have some issues with coughing. I'm actually going through some shifts in my life, which is causing this respiratory issues to manifest in my body. And so I'm working through those as I shift and clear and release these energies. This is where I'm at right now. So, pardon me. So I may be coughing a little bit here and there, but if you could just bear with me, that would be wonderful. So this class is going to be on manifesting. It's on the 12 universal laws of light workers, or the Emerald tablets, or Hermetic texts. This goes back millennia, but most people know it as like the 12 universal laws of light workers or not. These are literally just universal laws. And if you can learn how to harness these energies, a lot of them mainstream science uses, and they've been trying to kind of go through and quantify and define these things for years and years now. But if you can look at it I truly believe everything has to be looked at from a well, we live in a multiverse. You need to look at things from a multiple perspective. So science, religion, spirituality, it all has to be combined to get a good understanding of what we're doing here and who we are as beings and how we can best live in the environment that we're in. So these are 12 universal laws, and there's basically spiritual principles for living in this natural world that we're in, teaching us how to become familiar with the energies that are in and around us and how to harness those and work with those to be active creators of our lives instead of just being victims to the life events and the circumstances that come around to us. Because those are just opportunities for growth. But as we come into this world, we're conditioned to think and to be and to live certain ways. And through multiple people, places, and things in our life that teach us to be less than we are, to teach us that it's not okay to be who we are as spiritual beings, to keep us disconnected from source. And my main goal with doing this program is to teach people that this is part of our lives. This is part of us. And that by doing this and living these and working with these daily in our lives, becoming familiar with them, as familiar as you are with the alphabet, then this will help you to connect with source through yourself, within. Source is all around us. It's within us. It's around us. It's everywhere. God, source, the creator, however you term it. I still say God at times based on my upbringing, but I'm most comfortable with saying source. So through this video series, I will be referring to God as source because I believe that she is the ultimate creator in this universe, in this multiverse. So let's get started. I have not mastered technology yet. I'm still working on it. I'm 47 years old today, so I'm a work in progress. Like I said, I'm trying to be more creative and embrace that. So I'm just going to use my little tools here. I've been trying for days to figure out how to get the slides into a video and do maybe audio behind it, but I give up. I don't give up totally. I'll keep with that, but at this point in time, I concede. So this is my version of adding my slides to my video series. So this is it. I put some notes up on the board to make it easier for me, so I don't have to keep looking back and forth, and things that I wanted to really highlight in the series that we're doing. So these laws, there's varying opinions on them. So I say just go with what feels right for you, because not everybody's going to want to use all of these. Not everybody's going to believe in all of these. You go with what resonates with you. And there's no, some people think that there's high, well, there are higher laws, there are lower laws. There are some that are more solid that help us to work in this reality, in this world. And then there's some that are more lighter, energetic, and help us to work in the upper echelons, the upper energy levels. But be fluid with it, be open, and most importantly, allow your intuition to speak to you while you're working through this. That's a very important part of all of this, of any spiritual work that you're going to do, is to honor yourself and honor the knowledge that comes through in your higher self, and your spirit guides and your angels are speaking to you. Honor that and go with it. So don't feel like you have to stay in the static, okay, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Don't feel like you have to do that. You fluidly work through this and experience whatever you need to at that time that it's coming up for you. All right, so, but for now, I'm going to just do it in this order, just to teach you and educate you on it. And at the end of this video, I have listed some information. I have a PDF file for the slides that's going to be listed on my website, and the website information I'll give you at the end of the video as well, so that you can connect to that, and you can go on my website and you can download the PDF file, so you'll have your own copy of it, a hard copy. A lot of this I've studied over the years through Doreen Virtue, through Hermetic texts, through the Emerald tablets. That's really where I got started with this. So this is like a the Emerald tablets are very deep and very extensive, and this is like a not sugarcoating it, but I can't think of the word right now, but it's basically an easy read. So it's a very plain English, easy to understand how to use these laws to awaken yourself and to connect with Source. And that's the main goal of this, is for you to connect to Source so that you can understand yourself better and live your life better and create a better world for yourself, and then through the ripple effect for everybody, every being, for the earth, for everything. So let's get started. Number 1 is the law of oneness. Now this is basically talking about everything being one. Everything's connected, everything's energy. Every person, place, thing is made up of energy. Quantum physicists know this, and spiritualists, spiritual beings knew this many, many years ago. Thousands of years ago, really. Aboriginals, indigenous people of all cultures, they knew this way before it was even being looked at in the scientific world. But this is oneness, being that we are all connected. We are interconnected to everything. I'm connected to you through the energy that I'm putting into this video, and as you watch it, you're going to connect to me. And that we are, our minds allow us to feel and touch and sense and appreciate the solidity that we give, that we assign to the things and the people that are around us, the personalities that we connect with in this world, but that we are one with Source, and that through that we are responsible for our actions, our thoughts, and to have that awareness is key, because once you understand that every thought you have, that every word you say, every sentence you speak, whether it's in love or whether it's in anger, goes out into the world. It goes into your being, but it also goes out into everything that is around you, and it doesn't stop in your immediate circles. It literally, as energy, energy can never be destroyed. It just transforms into something else. So if you put something loving out there, something full of good positive energy, that ripples out into the world. And if you put something negative out there, it does the same thing. And I found through my own experiences that negativity seems to, there's a more of an intensity behind it at times. It depends on your emotions, but it's like they say, it takes more muscles to frown than it does this. I mean, more muscles to smile than it does to frown. It's easier for us to frown. It's also easier for us to stay negative. It's easier for us because we're grounded in this 3D reality. It's easier for us to stay in that negative, to send the negative out, and reacts quicker. So be mindful of what you're sending out, and it's difficult for most people to change at all, never mind quickly. But if you can learn to be mindful of your thoughts and your feelings and your actions, you can change that. Even if you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off and you're like, oh, that guy, whatever, and oh my gosh, that guy, that woman, whatever, that person just cut me off and so, and you immediately want to do something really negative, flip them off, whatever, then you just take a breath, step back, and say, no, I have to remember I am one with this person, and whatever they're going through, I can be there for them to help them through this, and to be that higher being. And that in itself is some of the other laws, learning how to rise above and send out something better and vibrate, change your frequency so you're sending out loving thoughts instead of hate and anger and rage, and you'll see it change. If you start practicing with that, just say that person cuts you off or somebody cuts you off in line. Instead of sending them anger and animosity, you send them love, and you'll see a change in them. You'll see a change in the way they're driving. You'll see a change in the way they talk to you, the way they think. If you're behind somebody and they cut you off in line and you're standing there like MFing them in your head the whole time, you're like, no, let me send them love instead. And you'll see, like, they'll start to turn around and talk to you and be like, hey, oh, did I cut you off? Or I'm sorry, you want to, or here, can you put this stuff up here? You'll see a shift in their energy just from a shift in yours. Sometimes we don't even realize that we may be causing some of the negative behavior that's around us through our negativity that we're holding on to. We might be having a bad day and not even realize it. You don't even have to vocalize it. It's just in your aura. It's just in your energy. So by knowing that you are one with everyone and everything in the world, especially in your immediate vicinity, if you could start working and focusing on your immediate vicinity, you'll change everything in your vicinity and farther. So, pardon me. So, number 2 is the law of correspondence. This is the axiom, as above, so below, as within, so without. That is knowing, accepting, acknowledging that we are creators of our world, of our reality, of our version of it. You have the power, we all have the power to create our world, our reality, our lives. Once you accept it, once you acknowledge it, and then accept it, then you can start, again, taking control of your emotions and changing your thoughts, changing your attitudes, your beliefs, and hence beginning to change your life. And that process doesn't have to be a long one at all. That can be a very short one. It depends on the intensity that you put into it, into the intentions that you have, into the thoughts that you have, into that creation process. Once you take control of that and own that responsibility as being a creator, and that can be scary. That can be scary in itself, knowing that you have the power to create that can be pretty uh, feel unsurmountable at times, is what I'm trying to say. So, but if you could say, yeah, it's not a big deal. I've done it my whole life. I just didn't realize I was doing it. You know, when you're sometimes, you know, you get so frustrated and all of a sudden you're getting through life and all of a sudden you're like, how did I end up here? How did I get to this point in my life? Well, it's because of the thoughts that you had. It's because of the environment that you were in. It was because of the frequency that you were putting out that you were able to create the life that you're in, whether you like it or not. And then once you acknowledge that and accept it, own the responsibility of that, you can step back, kind of virtually step back out of it and say, okay, I'm not liking this anymore. What can I do to change this? And then you just start taking steps, action steps to making that happen. One of the action steps is our next law, which is the law of vibration. And everything in the universe, everything, the TV that's here, that you can't see, the whiteboard, me, computer, everything has energy. Everything is made up of energy. Energy, uh, excuse me, everything has its unique, specific vibration, that vibratory field that's within and around you. There's many different vibrations that each being has. We have our chakras, we have many meridians in our body, we have our auric field, our etheric fields, we have many fields, and they all vibrate at a slightly different level depending on what we have going on within us, and how well we care for ourselves, how conscious we are of those energy fields. Vibration, you are in control of that as well. Like I said, even with the chakras, I'm sure some of you are familiar with chakras and your meridians, and how you could just do some meditation and visualizations and find you can align your chakras, or even having energy work done. You know, sometimes they take a pendulum, or even themselves use themselves as like a dowsing rod, and which is what I do. Sometimes I use my fingers, my hands, and as I'm going over, my fingers are like mini dowsing rods, so I could tell what the energy is. That's how I connect to the energy centers in the body, and I could tell what's off, and then I just listen. But you can feel the energies in and around somebody. Like when you walk into a room and there's something not so nice going on, you know, okay, I don't want to be in here. I don't like this energy. That's what you're feeling. You could actually transmute the energies of that room by raising your vibration to send off the energies, the negative energies that are in there. Really, you're not sending them off. You're kind of transmuting the energies of that room. It would be the essence of, you know, you walk into a dark room and you want some light in there, you flip open a window, a shade, poof, you got light in there. Changes the whole energy of the room, of the space. It's not dark and dense, it's light and springy, you know. So here our energy fields, if they're lower vibrations, they're going to be more negative. You're more weighed down, you're dense, you're heavy, you're kind of lethargic. You kind of just don't care. You know, you kind of just go through your day doing whatever. You can be angry, you can be tired, you can be sad. A lot of those negative emotions. So if you want to change that, you just do some work, like meditations, visualizations, some guided imagery. There's a lot of great resources, even on YouTube. I use them myself. There's binaural beats, they're called. I might not be saying that right, binaural beats. It's basically a hertz frequency, and you can use them for all different kinds of energies that they have within the body. Every energy center resonates with a different frequency. So you can use those to transmute and raise your vibration, transmute up a negative and make it into something positive, so that you're feeling light and more fluid. Oh, so, but yeah, binaural beats, meditations I have in my notes, and that can help. Oh, that helped so much for myself. I know in particular those binaural beats. I was having issues sleeping because I was working a lot a few years ago, and I could not slow my mind down. So I went on YouTube and I found some great. I used a combination of different ones, different frequencies for my heart and my head to kind of slow that down and balance it out, and bring more balance within my energy centers. And was just in a matter of nights, I started to notice a difference. I would listen to them when I went to bed at night, and it would slow me down and really brought balance into my life. So I suggest, taking a look at them and see if something like that resonates with you. If not, there's a lot of other different tools out there. Meditation, there's tons of different meditations. People sometimes get freaked out with meditation because they think, I can't sit in silence. That's impossible. My mind never stops. As soon as I sit, there's something. I mean, there's a lot of different types of meditations that you can do that aren't necessarily so overwhelming feeling, where you can sit and you can do things. You can do walking meditations. They have those little things, you can get them at the dollar stores. They're just like little sand, and you just kind of busy your mind and draw lines in the sand and arrange things. It's just a way of calming and quieting you. Mandalas are wonderful at that too. It really distracts the mind, so you can change your frequency that way. But a lot of vibration work is just very basic. It's very easy. It doesn't have to be inundating in any way, shape, or form. It's just about using a lot of positive affirmations, visualizations, guided imagery to kind of, I see myself, and set your goals for yourself and then see yourself there and raising that vibration up to meet where you want to be. And then we have step 4, law 4 is the law of action, which is key. A lot of times people think, I'll just change my vibration, no big deal, and then overnight I'll be a whole new person. It doesn't happen. Your life, you may feel changed, but that won't last for long unless you take the action steps to manifest those changes in the physical life, because your energy will be shifted and you'll be going along saying, I feel so great, I'm so happy, everything, life is good. Yes, but if you have these goals set up here for yourself and you're feeling great, but you're not taking any action steps to get there, to make that a physical manifestation of the energy that you're putting out, it's going to slowly revert back to what it was, because you're out of balance. You're living all in energy, and you're not living a balance between the dualities of the physical life and the spiritual life. Action steps are a very important part of the process. It's about you manifesting. Say you have set a goal for yourself where you want to do XYZ over the next year, and you give yourself like a vision board where you have physical, pictures and ideas and thoughts and dates, and you're very specific. And then you say, okay, I'm gonna raise my vibration. I'm gonna visualize this. I'm gonna think of this every single day, all day long. I want to say go to Hawaii or something. So you've got all the pictures on your vision board. You've got your mental pictures in your head. And yes, I'm going to do this. And the universe could bring that to you, most definitely. But how is it going to bring it to you? How it could bring it to you unless you've taken action steps to get out there. And you said, I'm going to need money when I go. I should start saving money for the trip. Or I'm going to have to start looking at plane tickets, or, to see how much they are, how much it'll cost me, so I know how much to ask the universe to bring to me so that I could go to Hawaii. Or, just basic things where you're taking steps. It doesn't have to be huge steps, just to reinforce to the universe that you're ready to do this, that you're ready to accept this, and that this is part of who you are. And then things will open up for you. The energies just flow right back into your life, because what you're putting out is the energy of, I'm doing this action for this reason. I'm taking these action steps for this reason. And the universe says, okay, I hear you. I hear your steps. Remember, I don't know if everybody knows this video is one of my favorite cartoons when I was little, the claymation ones with Santa Claus. And he went 1 foot in front of the other. And soon you have to take those action steps. You have to do things to create a flow of that energy in your life. Otherwise, you're just standing there going, I really want to go to Hawaii. That'd be awesome. Can you please bring me to Hawaii? That'd be great. What are you doing to earn that? The universe says, okay, I know you want it, but obviously you don't want it that bad. You're not doing anything to help with that. Why should we just gift it to you? Is essentially what it is, because your life is about learning how to become this person. Like in the beginning stages of manifesting, of using these laws, you can ask for something and the universe might give it to you. But as long as it's in alignment with your chart and where you're at, if it's something that your higher self says and your guides together, they say, yeah, okay, that might be needed right now. Let's take care of that. And then they bring it in. But you can't be that spoiled little spiritual child, that spoiled child just saying, I really want this. And you know what? I really want that big house. And I really want a new car. And I really want these things. And the universe isn't here to just hand us things on a silver platter. We're here to work. We're here to learn. And we're here to evolve spiritually. And most importantly, we're here to learn how to reconnect with Source, reconnect with our God selves in this physical world. So those are the main goals that we should have. And taking action steps makes that manifest in a physical reality. So you could take all the energies, all the work that you're doing on an energetic level, and the universe will say, okay, you're taking action steps. I mean, she's working like an extra, 10 hours a week and taking that money and saving it aside for Hawaii. She must really want this. Let's see if we can get this for her. Cause and effect. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble. The law of cause and effect. It's all about synchronicities. It's all about how there's no accidents in life. That it's about action, have a reaction. Each and every action have a reaction, equal or opposite reaction, right? So this is about self-inquiry. This is about what you could do, kind of looking at your life and scanning and saying, well, it's that, like you don't like where you are kind of thing. When you step back and you look at your life and say, yeah, I really like where I'm at. So what causes affected those changes in my life to make me at this space where, obviously I'm looking for an opportunity to change. So let's take a look at this. Let's do some self-inquiry and some acknowledging, some accepting of any responsibilities that may or may not be associated with that. And let's see what we could do to work on forgiveness, acceptance, and releasing. Working on empowering the self again so that you can affect different causes, different changes to occur within the life. Open monitoring is that whole self-reflection where you can step back, kind of remove yourself from your life and just say, hey, I am. Well, I want to be here. How did I get here and how do I get there? So that open monitoring. And a good way to do that is just meditation, quiet time, and then to affect the changes that you're looking to go from here to here. You can use I am affirmations. Those work wonderfully. So it's an excellent tool that you have at your disposal where you can say, I am whatever. I am ready for change. But it has to be coming from a place of power. And some people aren't able to do that right off the bat because they've had some pretty serious traumas in their life or for various reasons, and they don't feel strong enough to do that. But the most important thing you can do is to do it anyway. Just keep doing it. If you've had traumas that make you feel less than, you could just say, I am strong. I am worthy. I am whatever you resonate with. But just say it every day, throughout the day. And every time you say it, it'll get easier and easier. Your energy will shift and you'll become a stronger, better person with each statement. Each affirmative statement you make will change you into the person that you want to be. It frees up the negative, the energy, and it slides that to the more positive pole that you're looking for. It allows more growth and more positive change to occur in your energy. So with each positive affirmative statement that you make, you're changing who you are. That's the most important thing you can do for yourself. That action of saying that positive affirmative statement, whatever it is, and you can say multiple, doesn't have to be one. You taper to whatever you need, but that action will cause an opposite reaction. It'll cause the reaction that you want, whatever that is. So if it's, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy. And the more you say it and the more you believe it, then it'll start to get rid of that unworthiness, hence action, reaction, cause and effect. Number 6 is, excuse me, the law of compensation. Don't think I don't see what's going on with my coughing. I'm totally seeing it. The law of compensation, it relates to the law of cause and effect. I call it the abundance scale. I really like that because it's the visible effects. Compensation is the visible effects of cause in our life, of causes in our life. So, excuse me, positive or negative, I might say. I've come to believe over the years that, years ago I had my own traumatic issues that happen. We all do. And I was never, I went through my pity stages, pity me. My inner victim would come out for every little thing. And then I started to step back and remove myself and do these things. As I came into the Emerald Tablets, I did learn to connect with myself better and learn to step back and do the self-inquiry and learn how valuable these tools are for every single one of us, especially kids. Every single one of us, because this creates an opportunity for us to accept and acknowledge who we are and how great we are as people, as beings, and how much we have to offer to the world. So the law of compensation relates to cause and effect in the way that for every action, there's a reaction. So equal and opposite reaction. And I was saying, sorry, I got sidetracked for a minute. Positive or negative. I think they're both opportunities for experience. Neither one is good nor bad. They're just neutral, in my opinion. They cause reactions. They cause physical effects in us, emotional effects in us. But if we can remove ourselves from that, and I say, put on your spiritual goggles so you have a spiritual perspective on the causes and the effects that are happening from said event in your life, you can look at things very differently. You don't take it personally. You don't bring out that inner victim and say, why me, why me, why me? You step back and say, why is this happening to me? What is going on? So you remove the victim and you're able to change what you're doing. And now for abundance, this abundance scale, it's not necessarily for financial. It's abundance in all forms. Love, light, health, wellness, money, family, everything, good or bad, doesn't matter. Good or bad is just a scale, and we'll get into that later. That's another law. So if you have good thoughts, it's on that scale, that abundance scale. If you want really good effects, you've got to have really good thoughts to affect those changes in your life. If otherwise, it's all up to you. It's all in your control. Again, you're the creator of that. So, um, abundance and blessings comes in many forms and on many levels, many degrees, but they are directly proportional to the work that we do, the action steps that we take that cause these changes in our lives. So, on the physical, mental, and emotional, and spiritual planes of existence. All right, so number 7 is the law of attraction, which a lot of people are familiar with. I mean, that's it. That's the one law that everybody wants, and it's because a lot of people look at it like it's money-based, but it's not necessarily. It is, again, abundance scale. It's everything, directly proportional to the abundance that you get in your life, even if it's, love, if it's God, if it's happiness, if it's joy, all of that. You can have an abundance of good happiness or an abundance of sadness. You've got the polarities there again. So abundance doesn't necessarily mean good, doesn't necessarily mean positive. It means an overflowing amount of whatever's coming at you. So by using all of these laws, you can ensure that even if the stuff that's coming in is an abundance of negative, then you can change that. You can use these laws to change that to less abundant negative, to more positive abundance coming into your life. So the law of attraction, that's what I do, but I incorporate all of these laws. I'm an infinite possibilities trainer through Mike Dooley. I was actually in The Secret, actually. But he focuses a lot more on this as well. Over the years, he's changed quite a bit. So he doesn't focus strictly on the law of attraction. He realizes that there's much more to it than that. So the law of attraction is basically your thoughts becoming things. It's making your thoughts manifest into physical reality through taking action steps. I developed what I call the I AM formula, and it's an acronym for intentions plus action equal manifestation, hence the I AM. And that is about us being creators, us taking power and control over our lives and realizing that we are not victims in our lives, that we can have anything that we want if we focus on it, as long as it's in our highest and best interest. So a great tool or great tools to use for this are positive affirmations, visualizations, that I am before any statement that you make. I am wealthy. I am worthy of abundance. I am worthy of financial prosperity. I am worthy for whatever profession you're in. I am a fantastic secretary. I am great at what I do. You taper it to whatever you need. That I am statement is so fluid and flexible. But visualizations and guided imagery are fantastic for that. So it doesn't have to be something that you vocalize, but the vocalizing is important for most people. It really depends on how you learn, but to be able to hear it and say it is very empowering. So if you have, pardon me, you can sit and visualize in silence, but have the mental activity going on where you're visualizing yourself being that powerful being and saying, I am all powerful. I am a creator of my life. I am great at what I do. Maybe that's how you feel. Some people might connect to doing it better that way. They might resonate more with doing it in silence than vocalizing it. I find that a lot of people, most people, it's more empowering for them to vocalize it But that can also be the most difficult thing for somebody really that's going through that inner victim, that trauma that they've carried with them for so long to overcome. So if you need to do baby steps on that, you need to start out in silence, maybe saying it in the privacy of a bathroom or wherever you are in your car or something. You know, find a space that's good for you and create a little sacred space there, and then allow yourself, honor yourself as a person, as a spiritual being. Give yourself that space and that time to start to find out who you are and connect with your true self through those things. The law of attraction is just about polarization. It's those polarized energies. Like I was saying, the positive and the negative. If you have positive here and negative here, actually law 10 is the law of polarity, but it's essentially the same thing. These are also interconnected. And the more you learn about them and the more you go, you'll see how they all work together in unison to help each other, to help us move through. So polarized energies attract each other. So you don't necessarily want, you want positive to attract positive. So if you're putting out positive, you're going to attract the, sorry. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. But, yeah, you're going to want to focus on positive to bring positive to you. So this diagram talks about the polarizing energies, but it's very interesting the way they have it set up, because if you're already in a negative state, you could look at this and say, oh, it's backwards from what she's saying, but it's really not, because if you're already in a negative state, it's easier to pull the positive to you. If you're in a positive state, the negative will be more drawn to you. It's because of the growth and opportunities that we have in learning through the opposing polarity, the opposing energy, that helps us to grow as spiritual beings. So if you're positive all the time, positive people have bad things happen to them. They're just better able to handle the negative when it comes to them, because they've risen above being drugged back down to that negative. You don't want to get pulled into it. You don't want to get pushed away from it. You want to find a way to say, okay, let's go back and forth. Have control over that, which is number 8. Number 8 is the perpetual transmutation of energy. It talks about the power of creating change is all within us. We are our own creators. And in order to create, you need to realize that there are varying degrees of energies on this planet and within us and everything around us. And if you want to, energy can't be destroyed. It can only be transformed. So if you're feeling like negative and you have the lower energies, those denser energies around you, the way to do that is to, like the diagram I just showed you, pull the positive energies to you. So through visualization, through positive self-affirming statements, meditation, and there's a lot of ways to do this. Sometimes just the things we eat and the air we breathe bring in negative energies into our body that help to keep us dense and help to keep us weighed down. So eating a balanced, healthy, as natural, organic as possible diet, less processed foods, because those tend to weigh us down a lot. But if you can eat healthy, you can exercise, you can be out in nature, you can do those things. Those will all help to increase your energy and to keep you more attracting the positive to you and less dense. You'll feel yourself start to lighten. You're lightening the load is what you're doing. And then there's a lot of other modalities that you can use, like energy techniques, massage, like I was saying, exercise, guided imagery, meditation. There's a lot of different ways that you can transmute those energies into something more positive. Number 9 is the law of relativity. That just says that everything is relative. I giggle all the time at this because I would say probably 99% of the people on the planet, if not 100%, would agree with me on this, that our relatives can be the strongest struggles that we have. And from a spiritual perspective, my spiritual understanding is because we've chosen to incarnate with those specific people, friends and family that are immediate in our immediate circles are the ones that are going to bring us the most challenges, the most spiritual growth that we have. So relative, everything is relative. Those people, those places and things that are in our lives create our opportunities for growth and change as spiritual beings in this physical world, but also on the higher planes. Because as we're learning in the physical world, we're changing our energies, we're shifting, we're learning and growing as souls, as spiritual beings. So those relatives, all that relativity, is all opportunities for growth. So the people in our lives, the relatives in our lives that are going to give us those biggest challenges. And I'm not talking just immediate relatives. I just get a kick out of it because the truth, a lot of the times our families are our biggest issues, as far as intimacy and understanding and love and those major issues for us. But it could be our spiritual relatives as well. But it teaches us to look deeper at ourselves and to look deeper at the bigger picture. And again, the main goal is to connect us with Source, to find our connection to Source here in this physical world. It's an opportunity to strengthen the connection to self and stay heart-centered. So those opportunities that we get from the people, places, and things in our lives, we can take a time to self-reflect and to find out what it means for our growth as spiritual beings and as physical beings. And it allows us to put on those spiritual goggles again so that we can get a spiritual perspective from it, which removes us from our inner victim. It takes our inner victim out into the side. Once you put those glasses on, then your inner victim, it's a lot harder for them to see. So they can step aside and you can step aside and say, okay, enough from you. I don't want to hear from you right now. I'm trying to look at what's going on, the events that are going on in my life, the challenges that I have right now. I don't want to hear what you have to say. So you can become a stronger, more empowered person. And it allows more distinction between you and that inner victim as time goes on. If you can look at things from a spiritual perspective through the law of relativity, through self-reflection. So number 10 is the law of polarity. Now for polarity, I just have your basic scale up there, which you can't see. It's just the two arrows. It's just a polar with one line with the two arrows going in either direction, and the positive and the negative. And underneath it, I have life, because that line represents our life cycle and all the events and the people and the things that happen to us that give us opportunities for change. So there's two poles in the spectrum. Now, what I picked up from Doreen Virtue through going over her educating under the Hermetic texts, I learned that she has this really cool tool that I love using, and it really helps me, especially like with the sickness. I've been doing that, and I've been getting much better. You can use these scales for anything, like on a turntable or any piece of equipment. They have those little sliders, and you could grab them and you could slide them up to turn up the volume. So you've got like a lower frequency and then a higher frequency. So I just visualize those. And so like for my health and wellness, or for my financial abundance, or for my self-empowerment, you can put whatever label you want on it, but the intention gets labeled into that scale. And as you visualize that scale, you can manually or mentally, imagine that you're grabbing hold of that. You have control of that scale and you're sliding it up to a higher frequency. And then you lock it in place, and that's where it stays. If it starts to slide down, you could do like a mental check-in every so often. If you're starting to feel a little off kilter, you can do like a little check-in and say, where's my slider at? Has it fallen? Do I need to go in there and turn it up and lock it again? Because events, things will happen, will cause those to slide down, and you might have to do a little tweaking, But that spectrum in between, where all those life events are, that line, that spectrum, that's where all our experiences are on there. All our opportunities. All our opportunities for creating change, for controlling our lives, and for manifesting what we want in it. We have the power to move fluidly between the poles of positive and negative. We have the power to turn that frequency up, or to leave it stay, or to lower it, which we do quite often. It's easier to stay negative than it is positive sometimes. But once you get that taste of positive, because there's so much negative around us that we're constantly tasting the negative. Once you get the taste of the positive, it's much easier to stay in there because hey, I like this water. This tastes good, Don't drink the Kool-Aid. But negative to positive and more along the spectrum. There's all different degrees, varying degrees along that spectrum. You choose where you want to be, where you want to stay. It doesn't necessarily have to be locked in at the top, at the highest, where you're like all cheerleader, gung-ho, yay, everything's great, life is great. If you're feeling like that's too much for you, you might resonate with something a little lower. You, again, take the power and honor yourself and say, this is where I feel like I need to be. And if you need to be low, then maybe you need to be experiencing something that's lower. But the key is honoring where you're at, recognizing and acknowledging where you're at, and how you can control that slider, how you control the varying degrees of your life. You don't have to stay. You're not a victim to having to stay at the lower levels of the lower frequencies. You can rise up and be wherever you want to be. Guided visualization, again, like with the scales, is an excellent tool to assist with creating change here. Focus on what you want and slide that where it belongs. It's all about honoring where you're at, acknowledging where you're at, honoring that, and setting your dial where you want it. Number 11 is the law of rhythm. We all have a different rhythm. We all have a different frequency. And that creates different rhythms in and around us and in the people and places and things that we draw to ourselves. So, there'll be different patterns and cycles that are coming into our lives because of the rhythm that we're attracting those different things to us. So if you're attracting things that you're not exactly happy about, then you have to change your rhythm. And it's easy to shift that. That's just in raising your vibration, changing the energies in and around us. That might be doing some chakra work. That might be doing some healing work, self-healing through talking or through counseling or through even just energy work, meditation. But we have, again, the power to control that. Our lives are ours to determine what we're doing with them. The law of rhythm enables transition between the poles. So it's like a pendulum-like flow, they call it. And so there's this fluidity. You have the power and control to stop it or not, where you want to stop it. It allows you to change and shift at will. So law 12 is the law of gender. Now this, I think, is one of the most important laws. Pardon me. This is one of the most important laws because it focuses on our duality, our dual natures. Every single one of us are electromagnetic beings. So it incorporates our yin and our yang. And Chinese medicine has a lot of information on that. So if you're curious more about that, you can research the yin and yang and how the energy cycles work, and the almost said governors, how our energy flows through our body in and around our body through our meridians, and why we have so many meridians. Chinese medicine is a fantastic resource for that. So the law of gender, we have the yin energies, which are the more masculine energies. They allow us to take action. It's electrical. It's more of a giving energy, but it lacks inspiration. It has more of an I mentality, more egoic. And that's, I'm not putting down men, that's just the typical characteristics of the energy, the yin energy. That does not mean that and we all, as male and females, have these energies, these dual energies within us, so it's nothing specific to one gender. These are just the law of gender talks about the masculine and the feminine energies of each and every one of us. The yang energy is the more female characteristics. So it's more patient, it's a magnetic energy, it's a receiving energy, which is, again, like even male and female. You know, with reproduction, that's all the same, that giving and that receiving energy. It's a creative energy, and it's a more me mentality. So, law of gender, everything in the world has a dual nature, not just humans. Everything has a dual nature to it. It has electromagnetic energies to it. It's manifested in everything. It's about balancing and activating both energies to find wholeness within. So if you have yin and you're living a more of a yin energy, and you're living more masculine, you'll be taking action more. You'll be giving more of yourself all the time. You might lack inspiration because you're constantly giving and you're not being replenished. The idea of the law of gender is to acknowledge the dual natures and to bring them into balance so that you have a wholeness of being. It's about taking action and being patient and doing nothing. Not doing nothing, but having that flow, that balance, taking action and not taking action. It's about electrical and magnetic. It's about giving and receiving so that your cup isn't empty and it isn't overflowing. It's always full, but it's not too far on one side or the other of those poles. It's not too negative. It's not too positive. It's right balanced in the middle. Again, that is all about becoming one with self, because if you can bring yourself into a wholeness, and this is what a lot of spiritual belief systems work with, is finding that balance, that dual nature, acknowledging it and honoring it so that you as a being can appreciate both sides of yourself, right brain, left brain, and everything in your body. It's not just right brain, left brain. It is your entire being that is that yin yang energy to it. And so by bringing those together, you bring yourself together, and then you can become more intimate with the self and honor the self and become more intimate with spirit and with source. So if you live, breathe, think, and act in both energies, or at least try to do that on a regular, then you'll be more in tune with yourself and more in tune with source. And by incorporating all of these, and making them a part of your being, you can have a more balanced life. You can learn how to take action, why to take action, when not to take action, when to just be more reflective. Again, all about the dualities. Do you take the action steps, or do you self-reflect and say, what action steps should I take, or how should I take them? It's about finding the balance. And 12 steps may seem like a lot. But like I said, they all intertwine, they all intermingle, and they all support and balance each other, and they support and balance us when we work them, when we learn about them. So I suggest, just practicing with them a little bit every day, getting familiar with them, and making yourself available to yourself so that you can find who you are and love who you are and create the life that you deserve to live. All of this will allow you to become the person that you were born to be, and that you can manifest whatever life you want for yourself once you realize your value and your importance in this world. So I encourage you to check out my website. It's holistic wellness, sorry, limitless holistic wellness. That's at wixsites.com. I will leave a link at the bottom of the video so that you can click on it and access that. And like I said, I'll have the PDFs on there so that you can access those, download them, do whatever you want, and have fun, play, learn, grow, and love life. Love yourself. Have a great day. Thank you.